All right. Well, as was talked about, I'm Chuck Bazner. I'm going to talk about the Trio, and Trio is at both the main campus and at Montano. Okay, started the main campus in 2001, and the one up on Montano at 2016. Okay, we provide a lot of different things. We can go into the history first, and I'm going to go in what we have available to us. If you take a look at the upper left-hand corner, that's our boss, Magda. On the right-hand side is Carmen and myself. We're both tutors. And we do have a new person, Rob, over here at the our left-hand side. He's retired, and we now have Tasha. And the other right-hand side corner is Jimmy, who's the head of the Montano branch as far as that goes. Magda's been at CNM for over 20 years. I'm the new person. I'm under a year. Carmen's been here about 2 years, and Jimmy's been here multiple decades also. So we're not like new people as far as that goes. All right. If you take a look at the history of the TRIO program, we started in 1965 when Lyndon Johnson signed the Higher Education Act. And it's interesting to note that the Johnson administration did a lot of programs for education and for health. Very interesting considering the time period as far as that goes. But there was a lot of major upheaval in the country at that time. TRIO basically would not exist without the civil rights movements, which was the catalyst for the Civil Rights Act. In 1954, it was Brown versus the Board of Education. In 1955, it was Montgomery bus boycott. 63, the Birmingham church bombing, where 4 girls were killed in a obviously racial bombing, and that still was brought up last year before. They're still talking about that. 1963, obviously the assassination of John F. Kennedy. If anyone's old enough to remember what happened, they know that that was a time where that was a lot of upheaval. After that, it was Martin Luther King, also assassinated, and then in '72, we talk about Bloody Sunday. Those were the troubles of Northern Ireland. Okay. The Educational Opportunity Act of 1964 and the HEA of 1965. And in 1970s, TRIO organized and created a state association and regions. And TRIO literally means 3. And it's about the 3 programs that were put together under the TRIO heading. And that was the Upward Bound in 1964, Educational Talent Search of 1965, and the Student Support Services of 1968. Currently, TRIO now has 7 different programs as far as that goes. The 3 original ones, and they've added not only the support services, but educational talent search, educational opportunity, educational board, etc. So TRIO has grown over the years into different different programs as far as that goes. Purpose of TRIO and eligibility, the number one thing and criteria of that is the students who are first generation, okay? If you have not had anyone in your family graduate or even go to a university or a college or even a 2-year college to get an associate's degree, okay? That is one of the major things. The other major things is if you have a documented disability. And if you do have a documented disability, that is another program that you, okay? Hold on for one. Yes. Okay, I'm back. First generation college students, income eligible, and if you have a documented disability. So if you've been on an IEP, that would mean that you would be ready to work on a TRIO program, okay? You will see that we have a criteria for it. And if you're not sure, just give any trio representative a call. Okay. We put this in here is basically what we want to talk about when we talk about the difference between equality and equity. And we really like this picture. I really like it. If you notice, equity and equality are not synonymous terms, because as you notice in the left-hand picture, we have equality, but it's not really equity, is it? But in the right-hand picture, we do have equity. Everybody is at the same level. That is what TRIO strives to do. If you have never had the ability to go to college, or anyone in your family go to college, what should you expect? You don't know, do you? And so what TRIO tries to do is give you that foundation. What courses do I need to take? What should be in my major be? Should I go to a 2-year institution, get my associate's degree, then go to a 4-year institution, get my bachelor's degree, go on to my my master's and then my doctorate? Out of the TRIO program, TRIO graduates are 3 times more likely to be eligible for a bachelor's degree and for a higher level degree, okay? Okay, so we're 3 times more likely to have a successful outcome than students who are not part of the TRIO program, okay? We talk about academic and career planning. We have our own advisor, Tasha, and she will talk to all of the people inside of the TRIO program. Jimmy is also one over at Montano campus. The good thing about that is they get to know you. We have 175 students in the TRIO program at main campus, and I believe it's 120 at Montano, okay? And so they get personal coaching, they get personal mentorship, they get their own personal tutors. We tutor students one-on-one. We also have a program called Tutor Me. The Tutor Me program is incredibly valuable, and we encourage students to take advantage of it because it's 24/7 tutoring in over 300 subjects. Although Carmen and I do most of the tutoring face-to-face and do online tutoring, we can't know everything, okay? No matter how much we try, we can't do that. So these activities that we have, we make sure that the student is being helped. And that includes a lot of different things. That includes encouragement, that includes helping them with tests, it includes giving them background information. Carmen and I usually interact at least 2 to 3 hours a week where we talk about the people we're tutoring and we talk about what are best practices. How can we improve it? How can we be better tutors to our student body, okay? We also talk about, we have academic and personal workshops, and we'll talk about how to take notes, how to finance yourself, how to budget your time. All of these things, as far as that goes, we have 1 hour, hour and a half programs. And we not only provide that for our TRIO students, we also have workshops for the whole university. Last time we did a presentation to the whole university, we had like 80 or 90 participants inside of our presentation, which is a pretty good amount as far as that goes. We also do events. We do fall gatherings, spring thing, TRIO day, graduation ceremonies, pictures and things like that. Well, we're a very close-knit group. We like to eat, so we do a lot of things with food. We have contests, you know, like little bingo games and stuff like that when we do our presentations. And the prizes are usually like Smith gift certificate or Dion's Pizza or something like that. So we try to get everybody involved in the participation of TRIO, okay? It talks about our day-to-day practices. Basically, it seems like we're always doing something. If we're not putting together a workshop or presenting a workshop, if we're not presenting a workshop, we're doing some presentation to a group at the school. Magda and I have gone to various classes throughout the school and did presentations on Trio. You know, who we are, what we know, what we do, how you qualify for those things. Many, you know, we have files that we have to maintain. Since it's a government program, it is not funded from the university, it's funded from the federal government. And we're in I think, year 2 or 3 of a 5-year cycle. And so we have a lot of, obviously, paperwork to do. If you've ever dealt with the government, you know, you have to, you know, Form A and Form B and put this and that. And so it's pretty time consuming as far as that goes. We do a lot of meeting with students. We do academic planning. You know, is this course and this course and this course a good thing to take all together, or are you going to be overworked? And we also suggest things to our students. You know, if they're a good mathematician, we'll say, okay, you know, you can easily do these 3 courses. If you're not so good in math, maybe you should take 2 easier courses so you can concentrate more on the math class. And so we talk about all these things when we get together and talk about our students and how we best can serve them, okay? Time management skills is another one that we talk about quite frequently. How do we balance enough time to get everything done within the day? And you'd be surprised how difficult that is at times. We also talk about budgeting, which is one thing that a lot of the students talk about. And it's interesting when you start talking about goals and accomplishments and what a student wants. It's interesting because I just gave a lesson out to a bunch of students, and it was like, what are your goals, you know, within the next 3 to 5 years? And they would put down things like cars and you know, have a house, or you know, move in with my sister or something like that. But there were never things like, I want a, you know, a Porsche, or I want a Ferrari or a Maserati. You know, the cars listed are things like, I want a Hyundai, or I want, you know, a Ford, or I want a Honda or something like that. All practical things. Nobody had a house that you see on Cribs. They had, you know, a simple family house that you would expect most normal people to live in. And so it's interesting to see what our dreams are being more realistic than they are, you know, I'm going to be worth $65 billion. We like to hear our students' stories. We like to know what makes them tick. And you can ask any of the Trio students that you know, what is their definition of Trio, and they'll probably tell you having fun, having candy. There's always popsicles down in the SSC building in 110, and there's always food somewhere. It is a lot more fun when you get to be able to enjoy your successes with those people who are helping you, and that's what we like to do. We like to celebrate success. When you talk about things like mathematics, and I use that as an example because everybody hates math. Almost everyone will sit there and say, I don't like to do math courses, or I'm not good in math, or something along those lines. I have found when I teach math that the biggest thing to overcome is not the actual doing of the formulas or things like that. It's to get over the fact that it's math and I'm not good at it. It's more a psychological game. And I try to tell all my students, you can do this because it's not that hard. I can do it. You know, it's in your head. You've been told that you can't do this for so much that you started to believe that discourse. Don't believe people. You can do anything you set your mind to. And we'll talk about some of the people who have gone through the Trio program and graduated and gone on to much bigger and better things as far as that goes. Okay. Talk about the most common situations that our students encounter, and obviously the first things you're going to have is financial aid issues, completion time, time management, and study skills are probably the biggest things. And unfortunately, those don't go away. They pretty much stay through your entire career. Uh, Difficulty reaching students and helping navigate issues and resources. Uh, that's another thing that if you were a first generation college student, you don't know what to expect. And I've had students, sit there and say, well, I missed this paper, so I might as well just quit the class because I'm going to flunk. If you miss one paper, it's not gonna cause you to fail the whole class. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's not throw your hands up and give up. Okay, so be aware of what the impact really is on your progress. Okay, financial issues usually due to unforeseen circumstances. That happens to everyone. Suddenly somebody gets hurt, COVID-19 pops up, and everybody in the world gets displaced. Sometimes you can plan for those things, sometimes you can't. And that's one of the things that's difficult. And then we monitor the students' progress. I was having a conversation yesterday with one of our students about what are you taking next semester? And, how is that going to fit into your schedule? So we get to know our students, get to know what they're doing, and help them as much as we can. Biggest challenging is the balancing student coaching sessions with department meetings, projects, and events. We're a relatively small department. We have maybe 6, 7 people in it. When you're talking about providing tutoring, providing support, providing lessons, providing meetings, providing going through and tracking all of these things, it's a lot of work for a small department. So we're fairly well busy most of the time. We have an open office outlet layout in SSC 110, and you might not be able to find SSC 110 easily, but if you go in through the main SSC entrance, they will call us and we will come down and get you. That's what we do anytime somebody needs them. We do keep certain supplies stocked with you. We have Cornell note-taking materials. We have graph paper. We have regular writing paper. We have tests. If you want to take, a general test to know what do you remember about fractions, we'll have a test on fractions. We have a test on basic biology, things like that that you can come in and take and gauge where are you at on the continuum. Should I be worried about this class, or is this class going to be fairly easy as far as that goes? We also do things like if you need a TI calculator for one of your classes, you can check out a TI calculator for the semester or for the class. So you should come down and see us if you are in Trio, and we will see what we can do. We have the sheets of paper that you can read through for dyslexic students. We have a lot of resources, and we have a lot of things that we can give to you to make you successful. Our job is to make you successful and move forward in your educational career, your journey. And no matter where that is, we will work with you to accomplish your goals, okay? We also, like I said, we're 3 times more likely to have people go on to a bachelor's degree and go on to an advanced degree. We also set up, liaisons with other schools. There's one that we were just taking care of this month with Tech. It has got an open house. We advertised that to all of our students. There's going to be another presentation up, I believe, in Santa Fe, and we're actually getting transportation put together where we can take multiple people up and go to that meeting. So we do provide assistance and basically acclimation to other schools inside of the state. Managing time during the workday is one of the things that we face. Everyone faces that. And we talk about how to do that and how to move forward with those things. And obviously updating backlogged information as far as they were talking about with that. We do have a fair amount of backed up information as far as that goes. At the end of the day, we basically want to see you graduate, and we want to see you go on to get your next degree. Okay, that's what we want to see. And we celebrate all of the victories that you face along the way that you achieve your goals with. Okay, uh, we try to help you guys in a real time way, and if we can do it, we will get it done as far as that goes. We do give out, sometimes gift cards at Smith's so that you can, if you need to have something purchased, we can sometimes do that. We also help you take a look at scholarships. I know both Carmen and I have helped students write their scholarship papers, so that is available to you. Also with Tutor Me, you can turn in papers and they will correct them within, I think, about 24 to 48 hours. So you do have that option also, which is another cool thing about Tutor Me. And we get to know the students as people. But the one thing that I find the most rewarding is at graduation time when you see the kids looking up at their parents and saying, I'm gonna be just like them in a couple of years. And so what you're starting a new cycle. Instead of having people not graduate from college, you're having people starting to graduate from college. And I firmly believe, my parents always taught me this, and they pounded it into my head, is once you've learned something, no one can ever take that away from you. And so you've changed yourself for the rest of your life by learning and by gathering this information, being able to do these things. And that is something that I find very, very interesting as far as that goes, to see the successful growth from the first day in to the graduation day. And I've got a list of some of the more famous ones. This gentleman, Ronald Lee McNair, he was the first African American astronaut. We also have Franklin Chang Diaz, University of Connecticut, first Hispanic astronaut. Upward Bound Student Support Services in Rhode Island College, Viola Davis, she's an actress. Probably everybody is aware of our Department of the Interior, is headed by a former TRIO graduate. We have a lot of people who are famous, but I don't particularly concentrate on the people who have, Dr. Wingate, you might know her as the former president of CNM, and she was also a TRIO participant. And so when you take a look at these people who are famous, I'm not a big fan of famous people. What I'm a big fan of is the person who gets up every day, goes to work, earns their money, comes home to the family, and enjoys themselves. And that's my measure of success, is to get a job that you want, be able to provide for your family, and move forward with your life. And that's the people who I think are real heroes, the ones who do it every day, and you never see them on TV, you never see them making, movies or things like that. It's just the person you meet on the street and say hi to every day. In participant of the TRIO SS, there are more than 3 times as likely to earn the bachelor's degree compared to their peers. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. If you have questions, go ahead. I have absolutely no problem in doing Q&As. You can either talk to me, or you can shoot things into a meeting. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. I was worried I pressed the button wrong.
If you guys have any questions, you're welcome to ask Chuck today, who's a representation from the TRIO department.
Yeah, just open up your mic. There's not that many people in here, so we don't have any problems as far as that goes. And Rachel probably has told you this, because I think Rachel is pretty familiar with TRIO. Would you like to give us a testimony there, Rachel?
They already know. It wasn't earlier.
It was earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
You can ask Rachel about always having food and always having snacks. And we do have trick or treat candy down there too. I got a Mars bar yesterday.
I was gonna say, so we just got our trio program back at UNM Valencia last year, and we're just getting, still kind of getting it kicked off since COVID last year. Couldn't really do much, but we're really excited to have it back because we didn't have it for 5 years, and we're definitely starting to already see an improvement in our students, those that are attending and participating within the program. So it's definitely a nice combination between the students that are participating in PTK and participating in trio. Just really getting to see them blossom at a whole new level.
Right, and I'm glad you brought that up. That trio is intrinsic to every school. I believe all of the higher level schools in New Mexico have a trio program. But the trio program, like I said, since it's run out of the government, the CNM trio program is different than UNM's trio program, which is different than ESU, and so they are each different, but they all have the same purpose and objective in mind. And you could go from CNM to UNM, stay in the program when you go over to the other university. We're trying to put together a cohesive program to market trio more. As I said at the beginning, both Magda and I have been in classrooms. I'm teaching 2 classes right now. I send out to all of my students information on trio. I think we need to get in front of more people because they don't realize that they're eligible for it or don't even know what it is. I think you're 100% correct on that. We just had a meeting yesterday on doing more social media exposure and how we can promote the program that way. So yeah, we're definitely trying to do that.
Any other questions for Chuck today?
I wish it was live. I would be throwing M&Ms at people or packages of M&Ms.
Kyle?
Hi, thank you for providing this information. So my question would be, do we have any bridges between UNM trio, UNM, CNM trio? Because I am myself was a CNM student that graduated and then went over to UNM. So I'm just anticipating any involvement through NACA, the Native American school, with SIPI, stuff like that. Are there any programs set up so that we can help students as well? They don't necessarily have to be PTK members, but at least they would know that PTK is an ambassador group to get them to the right places. Do we have anything like that?
As far as I know, and this is not exactly my level, that would be Magda. But as far as I know, it is no. There is no formal arrangement between them. Now, I do know that many of my trio compatriots have communications with the ones at UNM because they know them. We also have meetings twice a year where all of the schools inside of the state who have trio programs meet at a conference. And that one is coming up next month, so we will be meeting with them. I also know that if you are going to transfer to UNM, there is a UNM trio registration computer as you walk into SSC in registration on the right-hand side of the building. It says trio, and that is for UNM, not for CNM's trio. So there is some liaison with it, but it's nowhere near what I'd like it to be. As I said, we're just starting now to get to the point where we're talking about marketing. We're talking about getting together and trying to sell the program more and trying to make it more identifiable. And the biggest hurdle to that is the fact that we have a small department, and you know, if I'm tutoring, I can't be doing something like that. So there's a lot of, we're in demand, especially first couple of weeks of the semester. It's okay. When you start getting there midterms and finals, our tempo of operations just shoots through the roof. And so we have, yesterday I had 4 hours of schedulable time, and all 4 hours except for 10 minutes was used. And during that 10 minutes, it was like, man, I better get something to eat. So we're working for it, but it, you know, the person to talk to would be Magda. Okay. And if you want, you know, just give her a call, although she's not in the office until Monday because she has company coming in, as far as that goes. But if you have a phone number handy, it's 505-224-4375. And that'll get you to Magda.
Okay,
But
thank you.
that
Yeah,
was
I just see an opportunity for, you know, students that are in, you know, their first generation, they're in college, and if they want to get involved, maybe partner with APS to do, you know, maybe some service hours to, you know, like reading to younger kids, because I'm starting to see that more younger students that are going through elementary connect better to people that look like them. So, you know, having representation, you know, people of color at that level really inspires them to do well in school. And then, you know, it's just part of that community building that I'm doing right now.
right.
So it's just something interesting that we could look at, and maybe PT can spearhead and, you know, just make sure we have, you know, that we have a system ready for these incoming freshmen to
Yeah,
CNM or to other schools.
I agree, and I also think that and I know it's not part of the mission, but I'm a big proponent of exactly what you're saying. Elementary education is where you need to get them. A little bit of my background, I'll just give you a quick overview. About 15 years as a instructor at the college level, and I got to the point where I was teaching math, and it's like, you know, why are they having so much problems with math? And I finally said to myself, well, when do you start learning math? 4th and 5th grade. So why don't you go back and quit griping about the performance and go back to 4th or 5th grade and teach them how to do math. And so I got certified as a K through 12. I'm at my level 2 now in K through 12 education. And we are grossly mishandling, I think, the early education, and especially prior to even school. I don't know if you've Adrian Pardosa is a gentleman. He works in Albuquerque Outreach, works with Javier Martinez, state senator, and these gentlemen are talking about having educational classes for the parents of the children, just like, you know, first generation college. What do you expect when you go there? First, you know, early childhood development. What do they need to know before they get to school so that they are accelerated? And I believe that passed this year in the Senate. I think they actually provided funding for that, and I think they're moving forward with that plan. But I agree with you 100% that we have to get the developmental section before they get to school in order for us to make an impact.
Okay, you guys have any other questions for Chuck at the moment?
Well, if you ever need something, just stop in and SSC 110. Usually there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in person, and then I also do remote for the students on Saturday and Sunday. So I teach on the weekend so that people who are engaged in work during the week can get some tutoring as far as that goes. And that's a new step forward for us that we have now Saturday and Sunday tutoring schedules. So usually we can find time to get together with the students. And if there's no other questions, I'm gonna let you guys go. You can probably grab a bite between the conference if you guys are going till 4. But everyone, thank you very much for your attention. Like I said, if you need something, just contact me. Rachel will get probably word to us. Kyle, I agree with you on the whole thing, and I think we need to make more a more holistic type of community so that we can touch more people basically and bring them in as far as that goes. Just like with the equality and the equity. Where